Medurstand. Understanding medicine.
Welcome to the future of healthcare, where artificial intelligence is revolutionizing medical treatment. AI is not just a concept, it's a reality, transforming the way we diagnose and treat diseases. Join us as we explore the limitless possibilities of AI in healthcare, shaping the future of medical treatment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Medurstand. This is Professor Aziz Rehman, and we have with us a very renowned orthopedic surgeon based in UK. He is an IT specialist, Microsoft certified, and he's got 20 years track record of innovation in healthcare. And this is a series of interview. And the first one, we discussed the role of artificial intelligence in healthcare. We focused on general principles. And in the second episode, we focused on the role of AI in diagnosis. And he emphasized the role of AI in the diagnosis on the bedside and also in the imaging techniques like in ultrasound and CT scan and MRI. And he also told us the role of AI in these wearable devices which can help us in the early detection of arrhythmias. And today we are going to talk about the treatment part. Dr. Chughtai, welcome to my channel again. Thank you for sparing time for my channel.
Thank you very much, Professor Aziz Rahman. I think the tempo has been built up from the introduction, as you said, then the diagnosis. And I'm really excited about talking about the therapeutics or the management empowered by artificial intelligence. So I appreciate your time as well.
Right. I think the first thing I'd like to ask is that we have these patients admitted in the hospitals. We have ICUs, we have CCUs, we have routine medical wards, and there's a lot of monitoring going on. We monitor their blood pressure. We have automated machines. We monitor their blood pressure. We monitor their oxygen, their carbon dioxide, their temperature, and their heart rate. Everything is being monitored. I was just wondering if we can use all this data and with the help of artificial intelligence, can we use this data meaningfully to translate it to some therapeutic decisions in the treatment?
You know, the large amount of data processing is the food for artificial intelligence empowered systems. When it comes to managing or predicting based on single data like heart rate, it is manageable by humans. But when it comes to predicting a model of improvement or a model of deterioration based on the treatment, where you involve multi-factors like blood pressure, heart rate, pulse oximeter, breathing rate, patient activity, lifestyle. So when you compute multi-modality inputs, and then you design a model of improvement or a model of deterioration, you require synchronous processing of all of these parameters. So it requires deep machine learning. So that is where artificial intelligence can not only save time, but also can work very predictably. Machines don't work under emotions. They don't get tired. So they work in a predictable way to design a model of improvement. So let's say based on heart rate, pulse oximeter findings, and breathing rate, we predict that the patient is improving on these findings. And we plot these readings against a graph. If the graph is going up, the patient is improving. If the graph is going down, the patient is deteriorating. As is exemplified by Rothman index, this is a treatment management modality in America, practiced in America, where patients who get discharged to home, they are managed by a nurse, and he or she plot the values of certain parameters, and those values are sent to hospital. So if the graph is going up, the patient can stay in home. But if the graph is going down, the patient goes back to hospital to prevent a possible death by dehydration or other calamities. So this way, the patient's on monitors. That's a great value to artificial intelligence. We can put all those data and design models of improvement. I think Professor Aziz, the registrars, the assistant professors in hospitals, they should be given these research projects by seniors like yourself, where you can ask them to predict models Rothman Index was designed by registrars, by junior doctors in America. So I really encourage the way you think on this point.
Right. So in type 1 diabetes, I think the scientists has developed this wearable artificial pancreas, which not only monitors blood sugar, but also adjusts insulin administration. And it can actually predict the trends. And before sugar goes to actual hypos, it can give the alarm, and not only to the patient, but also the treating physician. So, do you see any such application in the treatment of other medical conditions, like blood pressure, where you need to make the adjustment, like cardiac arrhythmias? Do you see any role of artificial intelligence in monitoring the dosage of certain medication?
Well, insulin dosage, micro injection of insulin based on the level of glucose, that is a great example which can be replicated, multiplied in many other ailments like hypertension or hypotension. Or let's go to thyroxine levels. We can use other endocrinal problems where we can put micro markers and micro injectors in the skin. But again, the processing of that, if that is based on our machine learning model, then the machines will learn to respond accurately. So the human intervention is only at the level of supervision, not at the level of execution. So this is a great facility where artificial intelligence can help make new devices to manage hypertension or hypotension by injectable medications. Same goes for asthma. I think chronic asthma is a great way to disease to work with. People who have tendency to develop asthma in response to pollens, they can have micro injection of some bronchodilator based on the early detection. Take example of ECG. If you have object detection available, there are special cameras now which can detect the ECG and predict very early markers. For example, there is a gradation from A to B which human can detect. But what about variation of A, A1, A2, A3, A4? So that whole range is missed by us because we cannot think that fast. Machines can pick up.
Right. I think one of the major diseases which are responsible for deaths, premature deaths, and a lot of other mortalities, morbidities is the cancer. And I understand artificial intelligence has got a lot of potential role in the treatment of cancer. There are people who are very, very hopeful. They say that in the future, the cancer will be completely conquered because of the new technologies. What is your take on that?
Well, this topic has been one of the most popular topics of research and investment in medical industry, the genetic analysis of cancer, where you can basically do a cancer genomics first of all to do a research on the markers of the cancer. So all the DNA and the RNA sequences are studied, and what is the focus that we find out where is the mutation, where is the change from normal to abnormal. So we pick up the genetic mutation, but that involves a lot of data study. Again, the human factor, the tiredness, the inaccuracy, the emotional burden on us, and sometimes the lack of human resources. That is where the deep learning and the machine learning and all the models of artificial intelligence can compute the data. So the benefit of that is basically the cancer genomics the process can be accelerated to very fast results. At the same time, the tumor can be profiled, and then we come to predictive biomarkers. We know that we can give this patient the exact therapy which can attack the gene mutation. So that is possible only when we have the capacity to study the data fast and accurately. And this is where artificial intelligence kicks in. So
Correct.
all the cancer genomics have been revolutionized because of this.
In cancer, I think we often say that if there is a way of detecting it early, the treatment and the prognosis is altogether different. And with this artificial intelligence, I think there will be a possibility of very early diagnosis. In fact, before the tumor develops, we can find out the predisposition, and then we can do something about it.
I mean, you can imagine that the importance is being realized by the business sector as well. In America, the medical investment or medical funding, there is about 25% of funding into genomic studies. The investors are putting money there because they know this is the future of medicine, the precision medicine. So you're right. This is the way we are going, and cancer is one problem. But what about the mental conditions where you can pick up early Alzheimer?
Yeah, that's right. And you use the word of precision medicine. There was a time when there used to be random discoveries, and then there was targeted approach, and people used to target specific proteins, specific receptors. I think now is the era of precision medicine, and it is said that same blood pressure medicine may not be right for every hypertensive patient. There may be different medicine for different person depending upon his genetic makeup and also maybe his microbiome and maybe because of his other metabolic profile. So I believe with more data coming in and artificial intelligence can help to decide to pick up the just right blood pressure medicine or any further disease for a given patient.
I think this brings us to another point, that what about your patients where you can have the monitoring of the complications of side effects? The precision medicine helps in reducing the side effects because we give only patient what patient will benefit from. But same, before we go to that perfect level of medical practice, there is a stage where we can monitor the complications or side effects between two patient visits. If your patients are using an artificial intelligent chatbot to register the complications or the side effects before they come to your next visit, you will have enough data to predict what was not suitable for the patient before you go for the next change of medication. You can change from beta blocker to something else. So this model is again benefited from artificial intelligence because there are programs, Professor Aziz, there are softwares which can compute while you sleep and get the results fast before you wake up.
Right. This development of new drugs is a very, very expensive and lengthy business. Do you see any role of artificial intelligence in the development of new drugs? And can it make it faster and cheaper and available for a wider population?
In drug discovery, there is a lot of molecular data. And the molecular data requires deep analysis before we can find out that what compound is effective and what compound is not effective. So that process can take weeks, months, sometimes years. And the value of time nowadays, if evolution is not timely, we lose the advantage of wisdom. We know that this is going to be good, but we can't implement a change, and a lot of people will die before we bring the good thing in the market. Right. I believe that artificial intelligence has the value to prevent that delay now, because the computation of the compounds, the analysis of molecular data is much faster. So the initial phases of drug discovery can be automated, completely automated, which means that you don't need humans for the initial few weeks of drug discovery phase. Imagine the value of the time we save in this way.
Right. Is it likely to make the treatment cheaper or more expensive?
Initially, you can say, take example of iPhones. They were expensive before. But the good thing is that people have a very strange or a successful marketing trend, that you make something for the riches and sell it to the people who can't afford it in the quantity. This is what's going to happen in the market with medicine as well. They will spend a lot of money in that, but the consumers are so much that they can divide the cost in small bits, and they can still make it beneficial. If any drug which is not profitable to the consumer, to the developers, they will not go forward. So they are only working on the common diseases at the moment. That's why they're not going for those conditions which are not commonly prevalent. The reason is purely business. Right. For example, Alzheimer, mental health disorders, all the psychiatric disorders, they are being picked up on the rates of prevalence.
Right. Dr. Chughtai, we had very, very useful discussion. We just have 1 minute left. can you sum up the role of artificial intelligence in therapeutics in just 1 minute?
When we come to human robotics, there was a time when we were supposed to be trained on making, for example, bone cuts, precise incisions, small incisions, so that we reach the point we don't have to make a big incision. The big incisions are they lead to more infection, more tissue damage. So that precise application of surgical technique was all human, which means that my opinion can differ from your opinion because it's based on my experience. But then if you put all the data together and find out which experience was actually the most superior, then we can determine the techniques. For example, where do we cut the skin to make the incision smaller for a hip replacement? How to cut the bone so that the loosening of the implant is delayed? Or for this person, how do we cut the bone as compared to that person? Because the first person was obese. He or she used to walk with legs slightly in varus or inside as compared to other person. So this can be again very personalized bone cuts based on human robotics. And again, robots don't get tired. Humans can. So in 1 minute, I tried to sum it up, but this is probably a bigger topic than 1 minute.
Right. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Chughtai, for very, very useful information. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for watching this video. And please join us in our next episode, which is going to cover another topic within the healthcare and the role of artificial intelligence. Thank you very much.
Thank you.